in low Earth orbit. So it's a hugely privileged place to work, and that is very rewarding and very satisfying. So I would go back in a heartbeat.
That's good news for us. Thomas.
Tim, hi, Thomas from Sky News. You're looking a lot better than when I saw you in Carrigander Airport, I can say. Tell me, describe the descent. We know about mechanics, but what was going through your mind? What were you seeing? What were you smelling? What were you hearing? What was going through your mind as all this was going on?
The descent is a really exciting ride, and it, you know, you've got two minds really. One is as a professional, and certainly as a test pilot. I was really wanting to analyse the spacecraft, thinking about the dynamics of what was happening. But at the same time, you can't help the sort of boy inside you that's enjoying this fantastic ride back from space. And we have practiced this so much, we've trained for it in Star City, so you're very aware of everything that's going to happen. And in actual fact, the undocking is fairly uneventful, and the first couple of orbits in space are uneventful. You're just waiting for that deorbit burn. And it's from the deorbit burn onwards that things get really exciting. And you know, the deorbit burn is quite a gentle burn, so it's not like you feel a huge amount of deceleration during that. But if things are going to go wrong on landing, they will probably go wrong during that deorbit burn. So it's somewhere where you're very, very aware of controlling all the systems and making sure everything's functioning normally. Because if that burn goes long or if it goes short, you're going to miss your target, and your re-entry profile will be very different from what it should be. But I was aware, having spoken to lots of astronauts about the descent, what to expect. Separation was very dynamic, and again, in my previous military career, I had the pleasure of flying some Russian helicopters, and so I'm very familiar with Russian engineering and Russian technology, and it's robust. It works very well, but it's very solid. And when a solid spacecraft is designed to break into three parts, it doesn't do it quietly. It does it with a number of pyrotechnic bolts that all go off one after the other, sounding like a very heavy machine gun. And the spacecraft really does blow itself apart, which is really quite exciting to be in the center of this. And these pyrotechnic bolts are, you know, only a few millimeters of metal away from your ear when they go off. And then from then on, the spacecraft is tumbling in a fairly controlled manner, just waiting to enter the Earth's atmosphere. But also, it's great being sat next to the window, because you're able to look out. And at that point, I started seeing sparks and flames coming off, because all of the multi-layer insulation around the spacecraft is burning away. So it's very exciting to see that. Again, I was warned about that and told that's absolutely normal, expect. And then from then on, the spacecraft is tumbling in a fairly controlled manner, just waiting to enter the Earth's atmosphere. But also, it's great being sat next to the window, because you're able to look out. And at that point, I started seeing sparks and flames coming off, because all of the multi-layer insulation around the spacecraft is burning away. So it's very exciting to see that. Again, I was warned about that and told that's absolutely normal, expect. You're trying to memorize the experience, but no, it's a wonderful ride. And then probably the most dynamic part is when the parachute opens, the drogue chute, and you get about 20 seconds where the capsule is being completely flung around, and you just have to really hold on and wait for it all to stop. I was told actually that would stop with a big jolt as the main chute opened, but in our case it didn't. The main chute must have been a very gentle opening, so I wasn't even aware that the main chute had opened. And the clock was running, and I'm very aware of exactly what should happen, exactly what time. The time had gone beyond the point at which the main chute had opened. So for a second I was concerned. I looked across to Yuri, and he was just sat there, so relaxed and cool as he always is. I thought, well, if we didn't have a main parachute opening, he wouldn't be looking as cool as that. So I was quite comfortable at that stage that we must be under the main canopy. And then you get a few moments of respite where you can gather your thoughts and get yourself ready for the landing.
Tim, Dominic Reynolds, 5 News. Welcome back. Nice to see you. Astronauts who've been to space in the past have said that once you come back to Earth, it's a slightly different Earth, that it feels different, that it might smell different. Is that what you've experienced?
Do you know, not really for me. It's lovely, it's wonderful, it's familiar. It's everything that I missed when I was in space, and it's very true what people say. You know, when you're on Earth, you wish you're in space, and when you're in space, you wish you're on Earth. So you do think about Earth a lot when you're in space, and you do miss the fresh air and the smells and everything. So no, it's nice to be back in a very familiar environment. And I meant what I said about the rain. it's something that you don't feel up there. Obviously, you don't feel any weather. So any weather down here whatsoever feels unique, and it feels very special.
Question here.
Hello, Coach. Welcome back, Tim. On the 25th anniversary of her spaceflight, Helen Sharman said to us that she hoped you weren't the last British astronaut, and she wanted the UK government to make a further commitment to human spaceflight. Would you agree with her? Do you want the British children that you've inspired to be able to follow in your footsteps, should they wish to?
I would agree wholeheartedly, really, and to echo Dave's words as well about where we're going. I mean, you heard about the exciting future ahead. Life doesn't stop with the International Space Station, and already the European Space Agency is so active and so involved with such a successful human spaceflight program, and then to look forward to from beyond low Earth orbit to the Moon and to Mars and exploration of the solar system.
Crazy.
It's extremely important the UK is involved.
Things
in all of
worth
that.
billions.
And we need to
All them
remain
solar
involved
panels
now.
and all that robotics and all that.
And we need to give our industry a chance to develop what they need to support human spaceflight. We need to give our scientific community a chance as well to get on.
If all the billionaires in the world came together and put their little bits of money and investments into
and
it,
if we're not involved now, then we are
it'd be
simply
done
going to
in
miss the boat.
like,
And we have
a
a
couple of
huge
years, I
space
can
sector.
imagine.
It's very dynamic in the UK. It's growing at a vast rate. And
Look at the guy that owns Virgin. He's trying to get Virgin Galactic into space. That's not even like a really hard way of getting into space. Basically, you fly up to like maximum ceiling, and you just use a rocket to push out into orbit. Imagine that. Instead of like travelling 24 to 48 hours around the world, you could go up in a couple of hours, let the world revolve underneath you, and then come back down. Boom! Amazing.